Good news, everybody. The Eagles have finally broken the curse of bird noise and won a game. I finally get to be happy on camera. Oh, wait. We absolutely struggled with the Giants and still have a boatload of issues to fix. Never mind. Hello and welcome to Bird Noise, an Eagles fan podcast. I'm your host, Dominic Estes. Good news today coming out of Philadelphia. The Eagles flapping won yesterday against the New York Giants, breaking their 3-game losing streak and getting them back on top of the NFC East because Dallas lost to the Dolphins on Sunday. It was a great Christmas. If you were an Eagles fan, if you were a Cowboys fan, it was not a Merry Christmas. Sorry, Cowboys fans. All right, so reviewing this game. First issue, the Eagles can't seem to put a team away. It was the game was 20-3 at half, and I started to think that the Eagles were just going to run away with this game, and then we took our foot off the gas, and the fumble coming out of the half where Lamine Zaccheaus ran into Boston Scott, and Scott fumbled on the opening kickoff of the second half, gave the Giants a short field. They put Tyrod Taylor in the second half and just right down the field into the end zone with Saquon Barkley, and we found ourselves in a 10-point game instead of a 17-point game. Or if we had marched down the field and scored a touchdown on that opening drive of the second half, it would have been 27-3. And I feel like we could have survived that one a little bit better. Then we marched down the field. Jalen Hurts throws a pick six to Adoree Jackson. Then he horse collared him at the end. And there was really no need for Jalen Hurts to horse collar Adoree Jackson. The touchdown had happened. Like, if he had gotten him at the 30, I can see Jalen Hurts doing it, but Jalen Hurts was just frustrated. You could see that. He grabbed him and he just yanked him down, and there was no need for that. The Giants enforced the penalty on the point after attempt, and so they had a 2-point attempt from the one. They got that, and all of a sudden, this game has become this 20-3 game is now 20-18 in like 5 minutes. That's when all the Eagles fans started to be nervous. But then after the pick, Jalen Hurts came right back, started feeding A.J. Brown. He targeted Brown 5 times on the drive right after the pick six. Brown caught it 3 times for 55 yards on that drive. The Eagles punch it in with DeAndre Swift, who also started getting going on that drive, and the game was 27-18. That is what we wanted to see from the Eagles all season. That type of drive, but consistently throughout the game. That felt like the Eagles we used to know and love last year, and then they just vanished off the field right after that game, or right after that drive. The game was 27-18. It didn't feel like the Giants were finished, but the defense got a few stops. They looked a lot better. They started the game with a 3-and-out. They had a few key stops. Hassan Reddick really showing how important he is to our defense. He had a very key stop on a 4th-and-1 where he was unblocked and just nailed Saquon Barkley right into the ground. Great tackle by Hassan Reddick. The defense kept Tommy DeVito in check, though, for the first half, but when Tyrod Taylor came in, like, I get it. Backup quarterback, you don't really prepare for the backup quarterback that much because what's the likelihood that the starter is going to get benched? I mean, with how the Giants season has gone, it's not that surprising that Tommy DeVito got benched, but yeah, the defense started giving up a lot more yards to Tyrod Taylor, and we still gave up a lot of running yards, a lot of passing yards, but the defense looked better. They functioned a lot better. And then the offense had drives where you saw the power of the run game get going, which opened up the passing game for Jalen Hurts, and then we'd stop. And we'd have to settle for field goals, and it was the same old story that we've seen from the Eagles all year long. Towards the end of the third quarter and the second half, DeAndre Swift got going. He had 20 carries for 92 yards. Why are we not doing that more? That's 4.6 yards a carry. Kenneth Gainwell got going. He had some really nice runs. He had 6 carries for 41 yards. So the offense and the run game actually did get going. We had 35 rush attempts for 170 yards as a team, and that is what you wanted to see if you were an Eagles fan. You wanted to see the run game get going and open up the field for Jalen Hurts, who threw for 300 yards. And so it's just frustrating to watch the Eagles have this potential and see it in bursts, and then it just ends. And it's just really frustrating as Eagles fans to see how good this team could be if they got everything on the same page. But they don't. They show flashes of what they can do, but then they just hit a wall and stop. A.J. Brown got going in the second half. He had 6 catches for 80 yards, and 55 of those were on one drive. He is the wide receiver number 1. One of those was an amazing, mind-boggling throw by Jalen Hurts, who just put it over the Giants defender. It probably passed the Giants defender like that. It was so close, but what a throw and catch on a 3rd and 20 that we desperately needed. And I think that saved the game for the Eagles. They figured out some stuff on that drive, and then they settled for field goals for the rest of the game and made it really more stressful than it needed to be. But they got the win. But there are still a lot of things that need to be fixed. The little things. The offense has to stop hitting walls. You have to stop going away from the run game, trying to go too much on the passing game. If you make this team one-dimensional, we struggle. So you have to open up both of them. The team needs to stop getting penalties called on them. Jordan Mailata had a lot of penalties. Jordan Mailata is really good on the offensive line, but they have to stop getting behind the sticks because then they just can't move. And the defense needs to stop giving up long drives. Kelee Ringo, though, I just want to take a moment and congratulate him on his first interception of his career. He could be a superstar on our defense. He sealed the game with that pick, and I think he could be a real big asset for us on defense once he starts figuring everything out. He's a rookie still, but I think we might have gotten a superstar in Kelee Ringo. And then Shaq Leonard, he showed up big time today. 2 tackles for loss, 5 solo tackles. He was everywhere, and you could see that he had the passion that we need on defense. And I think that really helped this defense get better. Still not sure how Matt Patricia is going to do on defense, but the decision has been made, and so we'll stick with him until we change. A win is a win, so we'll celebrate today, but we definitely need to get back on track. We've got the Cardinals coming up. We cannot overlook the Cardinals, and then we've got the Giants in 2 weeks again. So this should be a pretty interesting last 2 weeks, even though it was supposed to be our easy schedule, we still found a way to make it extremely stressful for fans. Also, the Cowboys and the 49ers lost. So the Eagles have sole control of the NFC East right now. If they win out, they win the division. If they win again and Dallas loses, they might just lock up that division. And Dallas has Detroit on Saturday. So this they are not in an easy part of the schedule. Detroit though might be resting starters. I highly doubt it. I think Detroit wants to try. I mean, Detroit is right there in contention for the first seed of the NFC. And so this is going to be a make or break few weeks for the Cowboys and the Eagles. But we're going to celebrate today with the win. Really happy right now because this is the first win that the Eagles have had since I started this series, and I was starting to get a little nervous that I was causing the Eagles to lose. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious, and it's good. It's good to see the Eagles win. I hope everybody has a happy New Year, and always remember, fly Eagles fly.